These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are recording Tuesday, March 26th, and we are talking about Mr. Jrue Holiday. Before we get into it, a reminder, as always, to leave a like on the video. We appreciate it very much. Subscribe to the How About Them Celtics YouTube channel. We're dropping videos at 5 a.m. every day, so you can get your content here. But Jrue Holiday recently went on the Draymond Green show, which, Sam, I don't know if you heard, Draymond's very mad LeBron hasn't been on yet. So
I did see that clip. I got a kick out of that. It's fucked, dude. LeBron, who is apparently buddy with Draymond, but won't do his show. Instead, is hanging out with JJ Redick. Fuck.
Not so much, apparently.
LeBron, noted bad friend. Not surprised.
But one of the things Jrue talked about, we can talk about some of the other ones, but this was the most intriguing to me. He kind of not necessarily. No, I'll say it. He bashed the Bucks. He said, "What the hell? Like, why didn't I won a title there? I did all this stuff, and you're just gonna flip me like that?" Like, basically, it was like, "What the hell, guys?" So we can watch that clip. He said, "At least let me know 24 hours in advance, not 5 minutes in advance." So basically, the Marcus Smart, come on, guys, what are we doing
buddy, just
here?
tell me.
Right?
Let me know.
He's like, I get it's a business, but dear God. But we can take a look and see what he had to say, then we'll react to it.
There's a bunch of reporting going on that Damian Lillard is going to get traded. No one knows where. He keeps saying Miami. Like, how soon with that did you know that you were getting traded?
I'm taking a nap. I see the text. I see a call from the GM, and I'm like, I'll call him back. Like,
I'm sorry, but what is it with these guys getting traded when they're fucking sleeping? Come on.
Yeah. It's like in horror movies. They're like, don't go in the room. Like, don't pick up the phone and scream if you're an NBA player. Just don't take a nap in the off season.
You can't. You're not allowed to.
You're literally gonna get taken to the shed if you're taking a nap, buddy.
Grant was probably knocked out cold when he got moved.
It's literally Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, you can't sleep. They'll trade you.
I'm deep in this nap too. I'm saying
that's how you know you're fucked.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
It's a good one. And then 2 seconds later, my agent called me. So I pick up his call. He's like, "You talk to him?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm sleeping." He's like, "Well, you just got traded, so you should probably call him back." And then I ended up looking at my phone. He ended up texting me everything that was happening. Like, "Yeah, we traded you here." And then I ended up calling him, and he ended up saying, like, "Yeah, we traded you for Damian Lillard." So I also had no clue. I think for me, it was just a shock because at least let me know 24 hours in advance, not 5 minutes in advance. And maybe I'm asking for too much. It's kind of like, I mean, I won there.
Go ahead,
man. I mean, I will say, as much as it does suck and you do want to hear about it, there is a chance the Bucks didn't know they were doing this trade 24 hours in advance. Stuff moves fast in the NBA. So I guess from that context, you need to give a little leeway. But it does kind of suck. That does still really suck that is how it went down for Jrue Holiday, especially when you contextualize the fact that at the time, this man's like, "So what? I'm on the fucking Trailblazers now." This wasn't "Oh, you're going to the Celtics." "Oh, you'll be okay."
Also,
this was what is happening?
Literally a day before the article came out, he was like, "Yeah, I want to be here forever." A day before that trade happened, it was like, "I would like to be here forever." So here's what I'll say about this. You talked about the Trailblazers angle. What difference does it make if he knows 24 hours in advance? You're still going to have the same shock. It's not like you're in the season, right? There's no it was October. For what it's worth, they're getting ready for the season. So I'll throw that out the window. But 24 hours in advance, he finds out, right? They're like, "We're going to trade you to Portland." He's not staying in Portland, and Portland can't trade him until he's been traded. So there's no advance of him figuring out where he's going to play.
Yeah.
Maybe he can start hiring movers or whatever. But besides that, this was an odd situation though. I think in general, yeah, the heads up wouldn't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't trade him. I don't know if Milwaukee really needed to make that trade or not, to be honest with you. They were in a tough spot because of the way the playoffs went. So I guess if you're covering the team and you're a fan of the Bucks, it's a bit different where it's well, they got to change something because
they needed more offensive creation, on the perimeter. But
sure,
the
we all went through that in the summer.
It
was they can't bring these guys back. Wick went and was like, we can't bring back the same team. And the Celtics made a bunch of changes, and they lost in the conference final. So I'm sure something similar might have happened in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I saw a Celtics account in the replies of that tweet saying Milwaukee's garbage organization. Listen, as much as like I would love to back you, this is the pot calling the kettle black because the Celtics did the exact same thing like 2 months earlier. Like, come on, guys, can we have a little bit of like pride here, please? Pick your battles. But yeah, no, I mean, me personally, I'm glad they did it. I'm perfectly
good trade.
Great trade.
Good trade. Thank you.
It is so tough though, because like obviously hindsight is 2020, but what should they have done? Should they have kept Jrue Holiday and added offense in a different way? Should they have traded him for something else? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because they clearly needed some more offensive creation on the perimeter, especially maybe even particularly at the point guard spot. But giving up the guy who is the foundation of your defense just doesn't seem like the smart way to do it. And if I'm the Blazers, I'm not saying, yeah, we'll take Middleton instead. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that was on the table because I feel like that'll be the argument a lot of people jump to first. So it is this awkward like scenario that they found themselves in. And like late. I mentioned, I was going to say, like I mentioned at the start, like this probably did just come about and they had to act quick if they wanted to get a deal done. So it was probably like, okay, yeah, fine. We'll give you, just give us Dame. Don't trade him anywhere else. Like we want him. So it's like, I don't know.
If your Holiday is this Dame's fault, because he did the whole I'm only going to play for Miami thing for 4 months. And then the season started to get close and he was still in Portland. So maybe he was like, okay, I take it back. Just get me off this team. I hate it here and I want to try and compete. So then Milwaukee is forced to act quickly. They have to trade Jrue. And to go back to the question before, like, do we think Milwaukee would go back and change things? I don't think so, but I also think if they knew that he was going to end up on the Celtics, they maybe don't do it because like in a vacuum, adding Damian Lillard to the Bucks made them probably the top team. But then, like, you had that for 12 hours, 24 hours, and then the Celtics were like, we're back. They busted in like the Kool-Aid man.
That was
they were
the
like,
sickest time.
Yeah.
That was the sickest time, too, because everybody in Celtics Nation just, like, did a collective, like, if you take Brogdon, wait a second.
It's the math meme where like she's like looking and it's got all the little like
dude. Our podcast with Cam Tabatabai, as soon as the Holiday the Dame trade went through, was like, can they fucking get your Holiday? Can these motherfuckers do it? And I went to bed that night or the night after. I can't remember if it was 24 or 48 hours. And I go, Henry, only wake me up if the Celtics trade for Jrue Holiday. Comes bursting through the door like the fucking Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah, look at these guys.
Henry is Kramer.
He comes in, he goes, Jack, they did it. I said, what do you mean they did it? And he goes, Jack, they did it. I'm like, oh, they fucking did it.
I was going to the gym and I like had to like do a U-turn. I was like, well, I guess I'm going back to the gym later. I got to go do a video.
And then they signed Wendy and Gabriel, which got more views. So that was sick. That was a very weird time, very wild time. And I mean, if you remember, you mentioned like Dame did the whole just get me out. He actually didn't. As soon as they were like, now we're not sending to Miami, he was like, okay, I'd like to stay. And Portland was like, no, not staying.
Kind of good
now.
for them. Low
yeah,
key.
I know. That was a weird situation, but we can watch a couple of the other clips from
Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's a tournament season or the fight for a playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play, and I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Use the code CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
The good one is him talking about the Celtics and like the pressure that these guys are facing. Because, I mean, this is no more appropriate time than the present here. after they just melted against the Hawks and the entire fan base shot up a missile into the sky and was like, we can't do this. This is not a missile, a flare. I'm sorry, a rescue. Like Celtics are cooked. This team sucks. They can't hold a lead. Meanwhile, Holiday didn't play. Neither Derek White, and they can't close games. And while they the Hawks with the fellas, it isn't the end of the world. It does matter if you have a point guard.
Was it this one or is it this one? You remember what it was?
That one.
Okay, perfect. Let's take a look.
And I think it's this sense of consistency, but like calm through the storm. Because in every series, in every playoff run, something goes to shit. If something go bad, you got to have a little bit of luck. You got to have a lot of bit of luck and a lot of bit of health.
Knock on wood. Knock
stuff
on wood.
going your way to get to where you want to get to. But I think that like our mindset right now has been really good, and knowing, obviously been there and experiencing it, me being able to, and then even them making it to the finals and losing, experiencing what it takes to get there. I think that it's been really good. Like our mindset hasn't been, even when we up double-digit games or even when we playing against the worst teams in the league, it's always like our mindset is to win this game, like go for the kill. And you know how it is. Sometimes, especially at this time at the end of the year, it can get hard to play sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like, bro, just get me to the playoffs. Like we already up 10 games, 12 games, whatever. Like, get me to the playoffs. That's what I'm looking forward to. But I feel like as a team, we're kind of in the place where it's like we can still learn from each game. And I think that's going to kind of take us and carry us over the top whenever
Lord, carry them now.
Hey, he didn't play in the Hawks game. He did not play.
No, he gets a pass.
That was funny to hear about.
There's
he had a
another
lot
one
of
where he talks about like the pressure of winning a championship here, and like you don't have to pull it up because I can kind of paraphrase what he said, but he talks about like joining the team and like when you get to Boston, all they're talking about is winning. And he's like, "That's cool. I'm about it. Let's go."
Right here.
It's not on the screen.
Oh,
you're sharing, but
I see. It's right here. I got you. Bobby tweeted it. Shout out Bobby, Justin, and Noah, the Avengers, tweeting out these fucking clips.
Good freeze frame. Go back.
Fans are like,
Poor guy.
They did him. Bobby did him dirty.
That's so fucked. I think this one's a little quiet though. So let me see.
You played in the Garden. You know what the fans are like. You know how crazy they get. Right. It's like it's live or die. Like they Celtics green all the way. So I think kind of being in a position and big props and big ups to JT and JB because I feel like they holster most of the pressure. Like a lot of it is on them because they've been together for so long and kind of have gone through this where they've been to the conference finals and they've been to the finals and all that so many years in a row. And even what they did last year, like almost coming back from down 0-3 against the Heat.
Yeah.
I think that playing with them and seeing like now that I'm on this side and seeing like the pressure that they go through and how they handle themselves is ultimate professional. Like I don't think a lot of people would be able to do what they do.
What are you laughing at?
Just watching Draymond's face, dude.
Oh my god, you weren't even listening to the clip.
No, I was listening to the clip, but it's funny. But
it doesn't
it's
like
facts.
The fact that this is kind of a tangent, but the like obviously everyone remembers. Yeah, they went down 3-0 to the Heat. It is crazy that they won 3 games in a row as well to like climb all the way back. Obviously,
yeah, fuck them.
This isn't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. This isn't like, oh, but at least they did this. No, you don't go down 0-3. You fucking idiot. It's like
week
that's
of
the
my
big
life.
point.
I'll never get
but,
back.
Like, it is crazy that series is so widely looked at as they sucked the whole time when they really like made this kind of. If you want to talk about what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. Like sticking through it. Like they stuck through it. They were resilience. Like they were like,
Resilience,
yeah, fuck it. We're still in. Who said we're out? All right. And then obviously Game 7 went the way it went. Tatum ankle injury, all this stuff. Jaylen Brown struggled. It happens, right? Like, but like the fact that they came back, I think gets glossed over too often, rightfully so, because they went down 0-3 in the first place. But it is still a thing that happened. And it is a lot of pressure on them constantly in Boston. And the other thing is, Jrue Holiday mentioned it, like Tatum and Brown have been together forever. That's not like a normal thing. Like teams don't get this big of a window to win titles often. Like you'll usually see if they don't get over that hump, they get broken up. The ownership's like, nah, get it. We're gonna switch it up, shake it up. The Celtics kind of did that with Marcus Smart, right? Like you've seen the team change, but the pillars of the organization stayed together. And that, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, if a team doesn't win a title together, how long have they been together? 7 years now? 6 years now?
7.
Like in like 4 years, it's done. Like, how long was Lob City together? That's the first one I'm thinking of.
A while. 5, maybe not that long.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you think of it and
6
like, oh
years.
yeah, this is normal. I'm gonna look at Chris Paul. Chris Paul was in LAC for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 years. He was in LA with the Lob City Clippers. So like, the Celtics have been together longer than Lob City. Obviously, the Warriors
Longer than the original.
are an exception. Yeah,
Well, not the
exactly.
Original, second
The Heat,
grade, technically.
the Heat obviously had that
The
time.
Heat was quick. That's way quicker than you remember. Like just 4
Yeah,
years.
exactly. The James Harden Rockets went through a bunch of different iterations trying to figure it out with him at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. James Harden was in Houston for 7 years. Like the Celtics,
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been together as long as James Harden was in Houston. That is an insane context to think of it. And so I think it is a credit to them and the organization for just believing in them. And Jrue Holiday makes a good point. Like those two do take so much shit. And that comes with the place of being the star in a city and being the headline like player. But like, it can't be easy to shoulder that. Like that is not, I don't think that's something to take lightly. Like to have the mental fortitude and confidence in yourself to bear the criticism and weight of a city known for bashing the shit out of their players when they suck. Like I saw someone tweet out today that the Celtics season has ended 15 times this year. It's more than any other team. You know what I'm saying? Like those jokes, all this stuff, like I can't imagine it's easy. And to hear Jrue Holiday speak about how well they've handled it, I think is, I feel like we could have assumed it based on how they've handled themselves in general, but it's good to hear from like a guy like Jrue Holiday.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to get into it's over, but when you see that kind of stuff happen, you just like get like all the ghosts come back, and it's like Bobby Portis making a layup in Game 5 in the Eastern Conference semis a couple years ago, tapping me on the shoulder, Curry on the other shoulder, Caleb Martin looming overhead, like they're all around. So when you see that, but to his point, Tatum and Brown are just absolute rocks. These dudes don't crack. They never fire off anything to give you quotes. Like they are so calm and collected and behaved when there's a microphone in front of them. It's crazy.
Credit to them. And it's come a long way from when they started too. So I think that's even more impressive. But anyways, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let us know what you think of Jrue Holiday. I don't know if we call it bashing the Bucks, but like shitting on the Bucks, just saying like, what the hell, guys?
Exposing the Bucks.
Sure, maybe that's the title. But comment down below. We appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let Sam wrap it up.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. We're coming at you every single day at 5 a.m. with something new, whether it's the pods on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, game recaps the morning after games, Talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning, or anything else. We'll be here. So comment, leave a like. We appreciate it. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. If you want the pods and game recaps, they're there for you, audio only. You can leave a 5-star review. We would appreciate that. You can email us. hbtcpod@gmail.com is the way to do that. You can get in on the pods. We read your emails each recording. We love to hear from you, whether it's basketball, not basketball, nonsense, not nonsense. We'll take it. You can also find us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our live streams there on YouTube and on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at Jack's Money NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.